Security analyst Oubai Shahbandar joins me now in the studio to explain what these protests could mean for the wider region. Thanks for coming in. I mean, we just heard a protester there actually talk about regime change. And I mean, the footage we are seeing, especially out of Baghdad right now, looks like these protests could potentially be destabilizing. I mean, how serious are they?
Londra, there's no question that these protests in Iraq are spreading like wildfire from Baghdad to Basra, and in some instances are getting completely out of control as security forces are opening live rounds on innocent civilians. Now, they're taking to the streets to protest many issues. One, corruption, endemic corruption. This is in an oil-rich country that exports over 3.6 million barrels per day, but yet can't keep the electricity on. Sectarianism behind that corruption is a big issue. Important to note that these protests are happening from Baghdad to cities like Diwaniyah to Basra, cities that have both a Sunni and a Shia community. So it's an issue of everyone in Iraq getting together against sectarianism and against corruption. And these are by far the largest protests that we've seen since the protests in Basra. And as you can see here on the map, I mean, we were seeing protests from Kirkuk all the way to the north, to Baghdad, to Amara, to Basra. And Basra is the area that has the greatest amount of oil. Most of the oil fields in Iraq are in that area. So many of these protesters are chanting things like, "We want the fall of the regime, Iran out, out, Baghdad free, free." They're referencing to concerns of undue Iranian influence over Baghdad. And as we speak, Iraq is largely offline as the government there tries to shut down the internet to stem the protests. But it seems that these protests have some serious momentum behind them.
So is there an end in sight?
Well, it's a question of what will the government in Baghdad do? Will they respond with more gunfire? Will they respond by sending in more militias? Or will they sit down? Will they negotiate? Will they take some sort of active measures of reform? Given that these are the second round of protests in just 2 years on this scale, it seems that the people are fed up and they want a complete change of government in Baghdad.
Okay, Oubai, we'll leave it there. Thank you for that.